Welcome to Behind the Camper, ROA Off-Road Edition. What's up, everybody? It's Randy here at ROA Off-Road in South Carolina, RVs Of America.com. We have a special guest today, all the way from the Great White North, a.k.a. Indiana, Austin Powers.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
No, I'm just kidding. It's Austin from Forest River, man. Thanks for coming down. This is awesome.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, man.
He came down for a road trip and said, hey, man, can I just stop and hang out? And I thought you were literally going to hang out. This dude's been working here for 2 days. So yesterday, he did multiple hours with parts and warranty, as well as our service manager and our techs. And then this morning, we were going to do this. And he's like, hey, man, I got to go talk to them. So you were up there for a little bit. Then he got on the phone with Utah, and he wants to leave at noon. And I'm like, when are we going to do this interview? So what I thought would be pretty cool to do is you guys see me and Shane and everybody from ROA in Maynard, and I think I've seen you like once on a video, maybe twice.
There's been a couple of them.
So what I wanted to do was kind of pick your brain, do a little interview, and tell them what your title is and all that, because you guys up there are amazing because you stand behind your product. I have his personal number, and it's like I text him. I feel like we're friends. If you don't think I'm a friend, that's fine. I don't have feelings.
No, I feel like we're definitely at the spot where if I'm just passing through the area, I'd be like, hey, let's go grab some tacos or something.
Oh, yeah, we did that last night.
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
We didn't invite Thomas. He's behind the camera. He left early, so that's what he gets for leaving early. But, yeah, get as personable as you want. Tell him your title, how long you've worked there, all that good stuff. Kind of feel like we're in a convention, and you got to stand up and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So, Austin Groves, obviously my official title with PAWS is parts, warranty, service, tech support, manager, all of the above. The only thing that I don't handle on the back end of the deal when it pertains to service and retail customers is parts shipping and parts orders from customers and dealerships. Nestor. Shout out to Nestor. That dude is amazing.
Yeah, Nestor's cool as all get out because you like hand it off to him. He gets me what I need, gets our team what we need. Yeah, kudos to Nestor. Thanks, man. We appreciate it here in South Carolina and Utah.
Yeah, honestly speaking, if it weren't for Nestor, I wouldn't be able to do all the things that I'm able to do for the end users, the owners, you guys, the dealerships, and all that stuff. So, Nestor, hats off to you, brother. I've been in the industry since 2015, graduated high school in 2005, spent 10 years in the military, moved back home, and then I worked on a production line for a different manufacturer in really every capacity, which was really exciting. I built the trailers for that manufacturer in every capacity throughout the entire production process.
So you know the process.
Yeah.
So real quick, first of all, thanks for your service. Can I tell them what you did? Because I was blown away what you did in the military.
Yeah, sure.
This dude was a drill instructor. And it like blew my mind because he's like so chill and relaxed. I thought for sure when he told me that he was like going to jump out. It's like, give me 20. But feel free to do that to us here at ROA. If we get out of line, dude, just tell us to drop and give you 20 because we will. Some of us may not be able to, but I could give you 20 for sure.
Yeah.
You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah! You don't scare me. Work on it. Sir, yes, sir.
But so married, kids, what?
Yeah, so my wife and I have been married. This July will be 18 years. We have 3 kids together. One that's almost 16, one that'll be 14 next month, and our youngest one will be 11 next month. Quick side story about that. I jokingly tell everybody that our marriage was arranged. And I say that because my wife's mom and my dad grew up together. And I remember I met my wife when I was 12 and she was 10. And I was at my dad's house. And I distinctly remember, like, it was almost like my dad and her mom got together and was like, okay, it's time that they meet.
When they were little kids.
When we were kids. And so I remember sitting on the couch and in the living room, my dad and her mom was in the kitchen, and I heard my dad say, hey, Austin, there's somebody here I want you to meet. And so I leaned forward enough, and I looked over, and I see my now wife, who was 10 years old at the time. She's like, hi. And I sit back, and I'm like, Oh my gosh,
That was before girls were a thing.
she's so pretty. This is so embarrassing, you know? So yeah, I've known her since she was 10 years old. Did the, you know, high school boyfriend, girlfriend thing for a little while. Got back from boot camp, and I was 18. She was 16. We have the same birthday, by the way, which is kind of
What?
awkward.
Really?
Yeah, she's 2 years younger than me
awesome.
to the day.
That's pretty cool.
So I remember sitting up in her room, and I told her, I was like, look, this is what my life is going to be like for the foreseeable future. Like, I was in the infantry. Iraq and Afghanistan were hot and heavy. And I was like, I'm going to be gone a lot. You know, I understand if you don't want to be a part of that. But I'd kind of like to have you on if you're willing to do it. And
That's awesome, man.
She looked at me and she's like, literally, she goes, yeah, that's fine.
That's cool, dude.
And so that was 2005, and then we got married in 2007. My 2 oldest girls were born when I was a drill instructor, working 18-hour days, 7 days a week for 3 months at a time. And then my son was born when I was on my last deployment. I had actually just left Israel. And then I got an email from my mom saying, hey, call now. And I ran to the front of the ship, and I got the satellite phone. I called her, and the doctor had kept her kosher, her and the baby healthy enough without pushing the baby out until I could call.
Yeah.
I called, and she did one more push, and we decided not to know what that baby was because I was going to be gone, and we wanted something to make the situation that much more meaningful to the both of us. And found out it was a boy. Our oldest are girls.
Yeah.
And so then I came home 2 months later, 2.5 months, something like that. I met my son when he was like 2.5 months old.
Yeah, but that was cool that you were able to run to the front of the ship and get on a satellite phone and have that moment. I mean, you weren't there, but at least to be there, you know, on the phone. That's really cool, man. And that's what I think is neat about this is like we have somebody come and sit and we just talk and see, you know, what stuff is. Because when we were talking last night, I didn't know any of that. So that's pretty cool. And you're like me. You had kids young. And
so
we both look younger than we actually are. Well, that's what I'm told. I don't really care what I look like. But
that was a conversation that my wife and I had when we were young because we got married. She was 18. I was 20. And I got home from my second deployment. And I looked at her and I'm like, hey, we're young. We're stupid. Like, why don't we have kids now when we're younger?
Yeah.
In hopes that when we get to be 40 years old, we've got our crap together enough to enjoy all the things.
Yeah, you can enjoy life. You're not taking care of poopy diapers and stuff. That's what we did. Everybody's like, I thought this was a camper show. It's not. Randy and Austin talking about their kids. We'll get to the camper stuff in a second.
There's actually a therapist right over here. You guys
that's
just
what we
can't
do.
see him
Yeah. So you get the kids out of the way. And definitely when you have them when they're younger and when you get older, like now it's like my kids are fully grown. Heck, they're older than Thomas behind the camera. So Thomas is our sales coach behind there. So that's amazing. That's awesome. I know I say amazing a lot, so because things are amazing. So do you have like any top secret stuff to tell us about Pause and Reboot that's coming out?
We're working on some things. So what I can tell you is
the suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
He's like trying to calculate what to say.
I don't want to give away too much.
We can bleep it all out.
What I can tell you is that every single thing that a customer or ROA has voiced that they feel like would be a beneficial thing for the Reboot product will happen.
Enlighten a little? Anything? Nothing?
I'm going to leave it.
There's some cool stuff. We're going to see it in 2025 or 26?
No, you should see it in calendar year 25.
Excellent. So always stay tuned to ROA Off-Road, and we'll bring you that information as Maynard and the crew release it.
But the goal is the Overland Expo shows coming up. I don't know when they are, but towards the spring.
Yeah, they go all the way. I think the California show, that's new for this year. It's going to start at a certain time, but it's going to move its way across the East Coast, and then out in October is Overland Expo East. So yeah, it should be springtime when the first one hits.
The goal is to have our product, this new pause reboot thing with some changes that we're making to be
At the first Overland Expo or the first Overland Expo, you think it'll be ready for that, springish?
That's the goal.
All right. If you miss it,
I don't know if
it'll
that'll
be
happen,
okay.
but
It'll be okay.
The idea here is we're definitely going to have something out before summer of 25.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to see that one.
At least something that can be viewed.
Okay.
You know, production standpoint, that's obviously a little bit different. You know, you build a proto, and then you figure out all the things you want to change, and then you make the changes, and you run another proto, and then you verify the changes, and then you run a production line.
Hopefully Shane can sneak up there, because Maynard's taken him in the top secret room a few times, and and they both have sent me pictures and videos of stuff. So whatever you guys come up with, it's going to be amazing and super awesome. Breaking news also, just to let you guys know, we had a big meeting, ROA worldwide, I guess, almost worldwide. We have 4 locations now: Arizona, Colorado Springs, Utah, here in South Carolina as well. And we are focusing on doing shows this year. So my task is to look at the Tampa show as well as the Hershey, Pennsylvania show. So we're going to try to bring some campers up there and represent our brands as well as ROA Off-Road. So I know folks have been asking that for years, and we're finally going to have that happen this year. So if it's crazy, insane expensive, we may not go. It just has to be cost effective. But between you guys, MDC, and us, I think we're all going to co-op market together and try to hit those shows to get our products out there to the non-overlanders.
Yeah, no,
because even if they're just not interested in our off-road and off-grid campers, they can tell their friends who are interested. So I think it'll get the word out for that. So just last week or the week before, I was told we can now sell the Shear Suspension on the Reboots. So we are super excited about that. There's an update on it. The one that I have here that I put on the videos, VIN 110, that's the prototype that's for sale. It still has, I guess it would be called an open recall for us, I guess, because we have to fix whatever the stop sale was. So that's going to get fixed. But now, I mean, that's from the technology for a shear suspension is from 1960. I saw that on one of the videos. So I guess
out there a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, it has been out there for a good while, and it's tested. So let the viewers know about it, and I can interject and give some data as well.
Yeah, so the shear spring suspension is something that MORRIDE developed, as you see it on the Reboot product, is developed specifically for pause Reboot. I say pause for the Reboot product. The idea behind it is to provide a suspension that very closely mimics the capabilities of the air suspension, minus the ability to adjust it up and down.
Correct.
It's lighter.
By 1,000 pounds,
yeah,
which I love.
There's less moving parts. It's still independent in the sense that, you know, each shear spring is by itself, supported by a shock absorber. There's no axles going underneath. So from an environmental standpoint, anywhere that the air spring suspension can go, the shear spring should be able to go there. Obviously, there's certain limitations that go along with that just because you can move the air spring suspension up and down all the way. But
well, the articulation is different, and that's where people. So you save 1,000 pounds going with the shear suspension. Your articulation is 5 inches versus 12 inches on the air ride suspension. But the biggest thing for me is the weight.
Yes.
Because that's a big game changer for folks. So if they're trying to save 1,000 pounds, they can go with the shear suspension. The only thing is it doesn't auto level, so you kind of have to level it the old-fashioned way with blocks or the horns, or I got to figure out what those things are called. I call them cornucopia levels. They're the ramps you pull on. You think with all this technology and information that I know about, I could figure out what the levelers are. But that's pretty awesome with the new stuff coming from Pause and Reboot, kind of mashed together. I did want to ask you a question, and maybe you can enlighten folks, because I get asked this now. When the Pauses came out, they used to say Palomino, like on this one here. And Thomas showed this. And now when we get them, they say Forest River. So on this Reboot, it says Forest River. Can you enlighten us on the reason of that?
Yeah, so when you think of Forest River, so Forest River is the the parent company of sorts. Much like GM. GM has all these sub-brands of vehicles underneath of it. Same thing with Forest River. Forest River owns a large portion of the manufacturers in the market. And it was essentially just a rebranding campaign that corporate did to say, hey, like, this is actually all of these things. Coachman is a Forest River product.
Yeah.
Palomino is a Forest River product. Rockwood is a Forest River product. Pause, Reboot, it's a Forest River product. And there's a couple things that they wanted to accomplish by doing that for Pause in particular, and especially in the overlanding market. How I view that is a huge plus simply because of the financial backing that we have, our product has, because of the company that we fall under.
Okay.
This product is made for overlanding, right? There's a lot of overlanding manufacturers, none of which have the footprint and the financial capability, if you will, of Forest River. So what that means is in, 5 years from now, maybe the little mom and pop shop down the road's not open anymore. Maybe we don't even produce Pause and Reboot stuff anymore. But because Forest River is what it is, we can get parts, we can still provide information. There's always going to be somebody available that can help in some capacity, one way or the other. And the thing that I love about it is, from the position that I hold, is the freedom that the company gives me to navigate through situations with dealerships and retail customers without question in most circumstances. It's we understand, I understand that there's an inherent risk associated with any manufacturing process. It's just the nature of it. That's just the way that it is. But I also understand that the back end of ownership, the back end of that deal between Forest River and a dealership, or a dealership and a customer, is in most cases more important than the front end of the deal. Because you could have any problem in the world. This could be a car, this could be a travel trailer, it could be a house. You could have any problem in the world. And how you handle that situation on the back end is going to dictate the end result of the outcome of that, and that particular customer's view of the product in general, right? So like, you guys make a huge commitment to Pause, your roamers make a huge commitment to you and to Pause, and from my perspective, it's my job, it's Forest River's job to match that same level of commitment that your customers show to you and you show to us. We match that same level on the back end, so that we're holding up to our end of the deal. We're standing behind the product, and it's not, oh, I'm sorry, this thing is out of warranty, or this was a self-inflicted wound, or whatever. Like, let's evaluate the situation.
Well, you guys always come up with solutions to problems, and that's
Yeah.
kind of like my quote: problems equal solutions. If you're just a problem identifier and you don't have a solution, it's like useless. And what got me and knocked me off my chair when I started working with you guys is one of our roamers reached out to you directly, and you reached back out to them, not to me, and start, why are your people reaching out to me, right? Because I've had other manufacturers that they're like, why are these owners reaching out to me directly? I'm the manufacturer, you're the dealer, you should be dealing with this. And I'm like, well, I didn't build the camper, so they might have a question,
Right.
and I don't want it to get lost in translation. And I don't even know how they got a hold of you, or many people reach out to you. I don't know if it's on the Facebook groups or what, but I just think that's amazing and awesome that our roamers can reach out. Like, put it this way, rewind a little bit. I didn't get in trouble, but Shane corrected me the other day because I talked about employees, and he's like, we don't have employees at ROA, we have a team. In the same way, we don't have customers, we have roamers.
Right.
So that's huge, and I'm about the post-sale. You guys are about the post-sale. Our other brands that we carry are about the post-sale, and we've let brands go away because they don't have any post-sale support. They don't have parts, on the shore, on the ground, and all that. And I just, tip my hat to you guys, especially you, for taking those extra calls and helping out, our roamers.
Yeah, I appreciate that. From the get-go, when we started out Pause, I was the only person that did anything parts, service, warranty, tech support related in any capacity. And so my idea, my goal was to create an environment that was conducive for learning and education. And I'm not one to hold secrets. If you ask me a question, I mean, for the most part, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to answer that question as truthfully as I possibly can. But one of the things that's been in my mind since I've been here at Pause is trying really hard to create a thought process and create a culture that is so far different from any other culture in the industry when it comes to the people that work for us.
And you've done it.
Yeah, me, Nestor, Roman, shout out to Roman, he's our service tech back there. Dude is amazing. One of the mottos, I guess, that we kind of live by is what you don't change, you're choosing. So if we want something to be different, if we need to change something personally in our personal lives, if we need to change something professionally or within our team, if we recognize that and do nothing about it, then we're choosing to continue to operate that way.
That's
right?
excellent. That's excellent. That's how we have our extraordinary excellence through change belief, and that's the same thing. It's like Maynard. I've got to hang out with him and his son. Incredible people, and what's awesome is like you guys are the same folks that we talk to on the phone.
Yeah.
You're the same guy here with our mics. Like, it's not this whole big thing, but I just want to say thanks for taking the time to come see us. That means a ton to myself and our team here in South Carolina. We greatly appreciate the support and the work that you do for us and for our roamers. So thank you 100 times. That's, I guess, the end of the video. Do you have anything else to put in there, or I wrap it up?
I don't. I think we kind of hit everything on the head. And thanks for letting me come down here. We've been working together for quite some time, and up until yesterday, if you would have put yourself in a lineup with anybody else, I would have been like, I don't know. I don't know. I got to listen to you guys talk on the phone.
Yeah, once you see, and that's what I like when I flew out to Utah the first time to get to meet everybody that you see on the videos and you work with, and you talk to everybody on the phone, like you say. But when you're in the same room with somebody, it changes everything. Like when I met with Maynard and his son at Overland Expo East, that was just so cool because we've only talked on the phone and text. Same with you. So. And you got to meet the team and everything here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I hope you made it to the end. We're going to put some phone numbers, email addresses down here. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, reach out to us. Like Austin said, we're all here to educate. We are changing the RV industry because we're tired of junk and buying junk and the quality now. And now you can go off grid and off road. Real quick, you did say overlanding. Some people get a little offended about overlanding and what the definition is. So your definition of overlanding is correct. Nothing in the comments of bashing overlanding because I know that's a big thing. But our biggest, I love to overland, and my definition is basically you don't know where you're going.
Right.
It's the adventure, the traveling to get to somewhere. You don't know what the end result is. But our biggest thing that we're focusing on now is off-grid and off-road because we are not campground people. And I think we're getting more and more of that to the BLM land, private property through Hip Camp and Harvest Host and things like that. So I love folks about that. And then we also get to talk about toilets and people's business. So your number ones and number twos. That's the funniest part about the job. So thanks again, Austin, for coming out and visiting us. Thanks for doing this interview. As always, enjoy the adventures.